All right, we're doing the 2018 paper, question 1b, and this is the second part of it, and we're doing it with a positive gradient in this case. Okay, so we were up to here, and we were talking about James from 20 to 30 minutes after trying to explain this line here. So that line is drawn, that answers the part for question part 2, but we now need to find the equation. If you were doing the equation for this one here, you can work out the gradient by going rise over run. Rise over run works out to be rise here of 2.5 and a run of 10. So I've done it here. The gradient is 2.5 over 10, and that comes out to be 0.25. That means our equation is y equals 0.25x plus c, but you can't work out c on this one because if you had to draw it, you'd probably draw it all the way down here. Now you can work it out like that, or you can do it like this. To find c, we need to use another point in this equation here. That means an x value and a y value. The x value is 20, so we put it into that equation, and the y value is 2.5, so we put it in there, and we just substitute them in, and then the only unknown is c. You work out c, and then you have the equation, and that comes out to be that one there. So that's for James from 20 to 30 minutes, and it's also Emma because they're supposed to join up and walk to school from that point onwards. Now, let's deal with Emma. Emma rides her bike at 3/4 of the speed she had been travelling before they meet. Now, if we're trying to do Emma in this case here, if I talk about Emma, we're going to have the gradient here, which is the one before they meet, and the gradient here will be 3/4 of whatever that gradient is at the beginning. So we know that 3/4, oopsie, something happened there, 3/4 of the gradient works out to be, and the gradient of that part of the line we worked out earlier, which is 0.25. So let's work out m by a bit of algebra, or you can use your calculator for this. 0.25 times by 4 divided by 3. And that will end up being, I think it works out to be 1/3. Or if you want to use your calculator, is 0.333 recurring. In this case here, because it's recurring decimal, use 1/3. Okay, so that means that Emma is cycling 3/4 of the speed. That means she was cycling a lot faster to start with. So it's a bit faster to start means she's riding at a much steeper angle. Okay, so I'm trying to do that with a much steeper angle. I'm running out of my graph here. So if I did that, then it's going to end up being negative down there. So let's do that. So her gradient is that. So y equals 1/3 x plus c. We don't know what c is, but we do know we can use a point for this. So let's use the same point, which is 22.5. 2.5. So we're going to use this point up here. This one right up here. It's over here on the graph. So this green line is here, which is steeper than that blue line up there, and it's 2.5. So keeping on going, we're going to go 2.5 equals 1/3 of 20 plus c, and c in this case works out to be negative 1.416. And that makes sense because she's down here. Okay, that is done for, whoopsies, we'll just write that equation there. So we're going to write down y equals 1/3 of x minus 4.16, and that is for Emma from 0 to 20 minutes. Okay, we'll go to the last part in the next part. So here we go. Stop now.